What if supply chains weren't a cost center, but the invisible infrastructure powering India's GDP, jobs, and AI future? In our latest Build with Shreya conversation, I sat down with Sundareysh Sarup, a leader who spent nearly 3 decades redefining what logistics means for India's industrial growth and turning chaos into flow. He's also served as industry co chair for the US India Aviation Cooperation Program, bridging public and private sectors to strengthen trade, aviation, and infrastructure. If there's one thread through his journey, it's this: logistics is not transport, it is resilience. When we talk about logistics, images of ports and highways dominate. Sundreysh reframes it as India's real wins are in project cargo, turbines, oil rigs, disaster infrastructure.
Primarily, I think logistics is all about time management, time criticality. So over years, I think people, it took them a lot of time for us to convince them that, what really and what importance they should give to a logistics company and what all the logistics company can provide. Anybody can move a box from point A to point B. And since we do international logistics, it involves customs at both sides of the countries, moving around the freight in various modes and methodologies across. Uh, but to show them that there's somebody who can look into it and show that it arrives on time, gets delivered. So all the entire supply chain gamut can be well managed and maintained by them. It took some time, but I think today, very proudly, I can say that people look at logistics as really one of the key industries and an important factor for any of a production manufacturing company or anybody exporting or importing anything. They realize how important and good it is.
India's logistics drives 14% GDP and 22 million jobs, but the magic is in margins from complexity, not scale. Diverse challenges demand creative supply chain. India's logistics entry is booming, but leadership at crisis scale, it's rare. Sundreysh shares the 2013 Kedar Nath flood response.
There's one which certainly strikes and can never go off my memory. I think if we all remember way back in 2013, there was a debacle at the Kedar Nath shrine with the cloudburst. That led to a lot of water coming through. In fact, Kedarnath shrine itself got saved. But down the line, there's a village called or a city called Sonprayag, where a bridge had washed away. And if you have any recollections of any of those images and the videos being played on the TV news, you could see trucks and buses going down the water. So I think our government at that point of time decided to award a contract to an American company to give a ready-made steel structure bridge because that was a lifeline to go up to Kedarnath shrine. After that debacle, all the devotees could not visit the shrine from Sonprayag because this, the river was here. You go from here and you could go to the other side of the mountain and then go up. You just couldn't. So the journey was halted for many years. And when this project came, that company chose us to handle it. And then we identified, of course, with the help of the local government, local police, a dry riverbed in Rishikesh, where we brought this into big containers, offloaded it there, made it as a base camp, and then we made up a base camp at the other side. The most interesting part was the customer told us that you have to give it to the other side of the river.
Oh my God.
And there was no bridge. And I said, well, how do my trucks go? So we did surveys. They cut. Of course, there was a big support by BSF, BRO actually, Border Road Organization, who cut certain parts where I told them the trucks can only go from here. So we had to offload the bigger trucks materials down at Rishikesh, put into smaller trucks, then take road permissions. We had the bridge installed. Other side we delivered with the camp office. And of course, every shit happens in logistics. As we say, anything can happen. So we had taken up a big crane from Dehradun, deployed it in Sonprayag to offload the material from the trucks to put it on the ground. The crane broke in the middle of operations. We had to send another one from down. So everything is challenging. But today I'm very proud of the fact that anybody passing through that India's first steel ready-made structure bridge.
This wasn't logistics, it was wartime coordination. Leaders who walk with the team like shepherds build unbreakable trust. Client trust comes from reliability in the unpredictable. Customs delays, weather, geopolitics.
As they say, you can be one of the many, or you can build something which is very different. These tougher businesses to move larger projects to handle needs a lot of thinking, a lot of creative mindset, a lot of strategically planning. And I think people shy away from that because I think it's quick money doing the smaller things and closing it at it. So I think it was always a decision to see where more engineering comes into being, more thought processes come into being, and that's what really got us excited. Also, it's a little bit of a niche area, so your margins are better there. Don't want to hide that fact, but certainly it has always been more challenging to handle such projects. So yeah, that's what got us there. Because I think way back when you look at it, everything was, of course, documented. It was all handwritten, handmade, and over years the industry has been, changing over through. We always wanted to break those traditional ways of doing businesses by incorporating what new can be done.
The best supply chains blend human judgment with emerging tools. One of the most practical proof was inclusive logistics beats pure speed.
Today's technology, most kids that I see, they just skim through things. Oh, okay, it's done. And they don't focus at the in-depth detail. And I think I personally feel devil lies in the detail. One should really go through every aspects of it. Now, see, there's a process to move something. The same process remains. The only thing is, from a manual process, it has become a automated or a digitalized process. But if you don't know all these steps which are there in it, you may really mess it up, right? People of newer generation I see have very good ideas, very strategically, very good, well placed, but they have very little patience. Patience runs out very, very quickly with them. So they would like to set up, design something strategically, come up with a strategy, but not implement it. So I think I personally feel that when they all these new generation, it's going to be a fantastic, fantastic industry for sure. From the time that we started to where we are, and I see a huge potential for them to grow. To be honest, we were probably one of the least underpaid industries earlier, but today I think we're at par at any industry. People get paid very well, so there's great futures that they can build here, extremely, and all kinds of people. I mean, we have technology coming up, so you need people who understand tech, people who can understand a little bit of customs laws. That's always helpful, and then they can build careers. And today, with e-com coming in, which is a completely new zone, because I think everything is logistics. You order a meal from Zomato. What does Zomato do? It's a logistics company. It just goes and picks up a box from somewhere, drops a box somewhere. Logistics is just moving something from point A to point B, and all the entire gamut of activities which happen in between. A lot of opportunities, a lot of areas to strategize, grow, come up with something new. And I'm really proud the way people are really building up certain things. Zomato is a great example.
Exclusion creates blind spots, like ignoring SME needs. In competitive markets, that's direct profit. AI transforms tracking, optimization, drones for last mile. But bias creeps in via poor data or siloed teams.
I think delivery by drones is a very, very big thing. And not just drones, there will be, I think, different modes and transportation solutions which will keep coming up. It really excites us. It reduces our time further, reduces more manpower, and probably gives better and faster deliveries. So certainly, and why not? So I think that's again, when we started off, you asked me a question on what excites you in the industry. Such technologies, such development, such things going forward really excites me because what we probably did many years back, I can't just tell my colleagues, "Oh, मेरे को तो सब आता है, 30 साल से कर रहा हूँ." But that doesn't make it. I need to learn. We all need to relearn every time and keeps continue going. So I think drone will be certainly an enabler and a big changer in coming days.
This episode isn't about trucks or timelines, it's systems design. Want ethical AI supply chains? Diverse planners. Resilient trade? Inclusive execution. Real impact? Voices reflecting India's chaos. If this shifted your view on logistics, AI, or leadership, share with a builder in India today.